It's Aaron here from the Better Way Alliance. A few days ago I spoke with Grant Oyston, who's the chair of the Revue Film Society, which operates Revue Cinema in the Roncesvalles neighborhood of Toronto. Revue Cinema is a driver of tourism and economy in Toronto's Roncy neighborhood through its stellar programming, which showcases all kinds of film in any given month. But Canada's oldest operating cinema is at risk of eviction.
Yeah, absolutely. The Revue Cinema has been on Roncesvalles as a cinema in West End Toronto since 1911, and it's been a cinema for the entire time. For folks to have a sense of what that really means in practice, that predates the first Charlie Chaplin film by about a decade. So when this place was built and opened, it was a silent movie house for about the first 15 years until we installed the first speakers. It's been a pivotal part of the community since then.
The theater employs almost 30 staff members, and their economic reach extends beyond their four walls, boosting local businesses and fostering a vibrant community spirit.
We sell out shows every single week. We're an over 200-seat cinema. We do over 400 screenings every single year. We're open every day except Christmas in a typical year. And it has a huge economic drive factor for the entire community around here. This section of Roncesvalles is full of bars and restaurants and other nightlife destinations that rely on the Revue Cinema pulling in those sold-out show screening crowds every single week to bring in crowds to their bars, for their restaurants, people getting a bite before or after, going for a drink out to discuss the movie they just saw. It's a huge pull factor for the area. And frankly, it's the largest cultural institution in this neighborhood that draws folks in from all over the city.
Despite its success, Revue Cinema faces significant challenges. Financial pressures and aging infrastructure have put its future at risk.
The Revue Film Society, over 17 years as tenants of this space, has spent over $500,000 on the building and restorations and improvements to the building, much of which is immovable and fixed to the building. These are things like masonry repairs, ceiling and wall repairs, asbestos removal, all these types of things. So there's been a huge investment on our parts as the tenant into the building and improving it, all of which is a loss. In terms of our ability, if we were evicted from this space, there's no other cinema like this that's still available in the city of Toronto.
Their current lease negotiations have brought these challenges to a head. The cinema's future hangs in the balance as it navigates these difficult and complex lease discussions.
The negotiations on our leases have always been challenging, and a large part of that is due to the lack of any sort of structure or framework. These leases can often be highly irregular and quite different from one another. There are a number of terms in our lease that are not typical in a commercial lease, including the requirement that we pay for maintenance of the building, excluding the facade. It's not a typical part of a commercial lease, but it's something that our landlord has included in our lease starting 5 years ago. So having any type of framework that sets clear limitations on what can and cannot be a part of that lease, what can and cannot be a legal rent increase, more clarity around options for renewal and what that might look like, a dispute resolution process beyond going to the court system would also obviously be ideal, as legal battles can get expensive very quickly.
And without this certainty, the cinema has had a hard time planning for its future.
It has long been the nonprofit's desire to acquire the building, and we recognize that for this to be an ongoing, sustainable operation, one of the optimal paths to do that would either be to have a landlord, perhaps from government or from some sort of other arts agency, or better yet, for us to acquire the building and ultimately be able to kind of make the restorations and the improvements and the enhancements that we desperately want to do, and we could fundraise for that far more effectively if we owned the building.
Revue Cinema's struggles reflect broader systemic issues affecting small businesses that could be fixed by a commercial renter bill of rights. Ensuring fair leasing practices and providing tenants with more rights are actual crucial steps toward addressing this imbalance and making it easier for businesses and organizations to plan their futures, create good local jobs, and actually make sure that everyone within the community succeeds, including their landlord.